I reached out to a friend of mine who I had not spoken to in maybe about a month or so earlier today. And she told me that one of their dearest, closest friends, somebody who I happen to know, committed suicide 2 days ago. She told me who it was. It was unthinkable, really. I mean, this was a big, strong dude who, pardon me, who, if I could have thought of 20 people, it wouldn't have been him. And it prompted this live, and I'm sorry if it gets truncated or chopped up or whatever. But one of the things I talk about all the time with clients, used to talk about it to teams I coached and now corporate teams or whatever, is we don't know what we don't know. And it's really important to understand that. Again, this guy seemed like a larger than life character. And yet the other day he took his life, and my friend's husband found him. He's devastated. I spoke with him today as well. So I thought about it. I wanted to talk about it now. I posted something about Draymond Green, the Warriors player, who I'm going to get to here in a minute. But I want to keep coming back to this theme that we don't know what we don't know. I wrote a blog post. I hadn't written a blog post in forever. And I wrote one the other day. I'll put a link to it in the chat if anybody's interested about it. But they're crazy times, right? I mean, we're living in this upheaval world. And it's again, we don't know what we don't know about people and how people are responding to some of the bombardment of stimulus that goes on. The blog post I wrote was really kind of a message to friends and an encouragement to friends and colleagues and clients, about thinking more deeply. I certainly try to do that. I try to think deeply about all my interactions with people and how did I do? And it can be it can be arduous, it could be painful. You try to do your best, right? But the idea, is, yeah, it's hard for all of us, but think, what could you do, to make somebody's life a little easier? Barista at the coffee store, whatever it is. Again, earlier this month, just 2 weeks ago, yesterday, my wife and I were blessed with our fourth grandkid, and some of these things I want to share with them if they ever get to listen. And we're eternally grateful. And honestly, my first two grandkids had a pretty rough entry in the world, but they're here, and I'm grateful. I say to people all the time, I'm gonna say it here now, and people who know me, I say it a lot, but if you're listening to this, I wrote it in the blog post. If you're reading the blog post, if you're listening to this, you've been given the greatest gift you could possibly ask for, which is today, a chance to play. And again, there's so many people walking around with so much pain, and we don't even know. So this gift of today is a gift. And I'm sorry to wax philosophically, but I can't help myself. I really overcome a little bit by this horrible episode in my friend's life. So again, take the gift that you have. You're fortunate enough to wake up tomorrow morning, take it and look at it as a gift. And then if you agree it's a gift, figure out how to optimize the minutes. What's the best thing you can do with the minutes, the opportunity you have to play? Pardon me. Maybe a little anecdotal to the Final Four going on right now, but people get a chance to be in those games, have this opportunity of a lifetime. So how do we optimize? How do we maximize? I know I'm rambling a little bit here, so I'm going to close with this. Look, as it relates to Draymond Green, Um, I don't know what's going on. I have no clue, right? I wrote about this today, and a friend of mine said, well, everybody's doing great. I lauded Stephen Curry, and I said to him, look, I don't know any more than you do what's going on in his life, but I can say this, there are, it's a near certainty that there are events in his life, what a gentleman Joe Polish calls atmospheric conditions in his life that are driving some of these behaviors. I cannot imagine he's going to put everything he has, his family, his team at risk if he just didn't have some demons, right? And hopefully he can sort them out. I watched Stephen Curry cry when Draymond got thrown out. And I don't believe it's because, he thought they're going to lose another game and that was the sole driver. I think he feels for his friend that he is fighting demons and battling. I don't know this, but this is my thought watching and having a chance to observe Stephen Curry. He's a friend. He's a teammate. So what I'll leave this with is look, be a great teammate. Listen to your friends, listen to them, ask them how they're doing, check in on them, give them a hug. Um, we all have our battles. I certainly do. And again, we don't know what's going on with other people, but we can control our interactions with them. And if we can stop pointing fingers and what do they say? If you're pointing it to somebody else, there's four pointing back at you. Just be a better teammate. People are fighting hard battles, and I wish them all well. I wish you well. I'll share the blog post later, I guess. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Sorry for the rant.